Welcome to the workshop here at Hidden Homestead. My name is David, and today we are going through my bug out bag. So when you hear someone talk about a bug out bag, what do you immediately think of? You think about grabbing your AR and a fistful of ammo and some rations and a sleeping bag and taking on the world? That's really not what this bug out bag is for. This bug out bag is for natural disasters. It doesn't matter where you live, you're prone to some sort of natural disaster. Fire, flooding, hurricane, tornado, any of those things could hit in an instant, and you need something to grab with all your emergency stuff, with all the necessities, and get out of the house quick. And that's what this bag is for, with the caveat of I am ex-military and a prior Boy Scout, and the Boy Scouts motto is to always be prepared. So we're gonna open this thing up and see what all I have inside. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video. So I have a little bit of Scandinavian blood coursing through my veins, and I like to think in a different life, I was just a badass Viking. Probably wasn't, but I like to think that I was. You know, awesome beard, the axe, the cool Viking jewelry. Today's sponsor is Wear Valhalla. Wear Valhalla makes some pretty legit jewelry, super nice, super clean. It's all handcrafted, handmade here in America, and they are just super cool to deal with. Very responsive on any questions or concerns you might have, and just a cool bunch of people. If you're interested in that type of jewelry, you can go to wearvalhalla.com, check out their stuff, and at checkout, put in a discount code WORKSHOP20 to receive 20% off of your purchase. Thank you, Wear Valhalla, for sponsoring this video. So first, let's get into the bag itself. Now, you could get something that's really cool and super tactical and stands out to everybody and lets them know that you're a badass, and that's great. That wasn't my thought behind this. I wanted something pretty basic, pretty generic, so I didn't stand out, but also wanted it functional and good quality. This bag is from Osprey. I cannot remember the name of it, but I'll link it in the description below. You can pull it as a duffel bag. These come undone, and then you can sling it over your shoulder as a backpack, which is nice. And then you got, you know, your hands are free. The other thing that I like about this, it's a backpack, but it also, instead of having a top load compartment like most backpacks do, this opens up to where, you know, you have everything right here on top, and you can get into it and get access pretty easy. So, a bottle of water. You know, you kind of need water, and I don't know, depending on what's happening, when we'll have water. A better suggestion than even one of these Nalgene plastic bottles is a steel, like a stainless steel single walled bottle. That way you can fill it up, you can boil it right in the fire, and then you can drink it. Again, that's like in a somewhat long-term survival situation. In a pinch, these work out pretty good. And once we get into the bag, you'll see that this will work out. So yeah, water. Something else, if this just sets in here for a long time, it might get kind of nasty. So every month we have a reminder set to wash this out, put new water in it. And then also, once we get in here, you'll see what I'm talking about. We get in here and update everything, and I'll get into that in a minute. So water's right there out front. Right when you open up, right when I open up this compartment, the first thing I come to is the handheld radio. If I had to leave and I was in a hurry and I forgot my phone, or my wife forgot her phone, or whatever, as long as we both got our bug out bags, she has the second one to this one. We got it in a 2-pack, and we can still communicate. Now, this has a lot of nice emergency features on it. It's got weather. It's a really nice radio. The Motorola something talk about. I don't remember which one it is. I'll leave that in the description. But really nice because, you know, if you don't have a cell phone, then you can still have comms. Right here, right on front, when I pull this out, is my, I don't know what they call it now. I call it a CLS bag, Combat Lifesaver. I'm sure they have another name. If you know there's another name for a CLS bag, let me know. Inside this, when I open this up, I have my PFAC, which is this bag right here. Open it up and it's basically, I got my toiletries, an emergency blanket, my small first aid kit. Now, these, I just separated everything in cheap plastic bags. You can go out and get some really nice little compartment bags just to, you know, stuff everything in, like the nylon bags, which are cool, but these work just fine, and it keeps it dry. Glow sticks in case after your bug out you want to do a rave or something. That'd be awesome. No, you don't really, like at nighttime, these are good for signaling and obviously all those fun things. Medication, a lot of ibuprofen because I'm broken, and K-tape because I'm broken. So K-tape to throw on me when I've got a sore ankle or something. On the side here is, these are some just cheap things that I had lying around but could be used. They're not really adding that much weight and taking up that much space, which is why I put them in here. Some of them might be silly, but they won't be silly if I ever have to use them. First is this little chainsaw if you have to cut through something. I mean, I don't have an axe in here, so yeah, I could do that. I'll get to an axe here in a little bit. Gear aid, yeah, gear aid. You got to rip in your down jacket or whatever, or your sleeping bag, or I don't have a sleeping bag in here, but whatever gear you have, these are nice to have because it's a quick patch. They're super sticky. I got a Patagonia jacket that I've had one of these on for 5 years now, and it's sticking no problem. I've had no issues with it. It's not even tried to peel or anything. I've washed the jacket a couple of times, and it stayed. They're good. I think they are. I think the brand name is Gear Aid, so they're nice. A sewing kit, just because. Emery board. If I got a hangnail, I guess I could clean them up. Emery boards are actually, you can use it for more than just your nails. They're pretty useful. Just this little random fishing kit that I found. Who knows? Who really knows what's going to happen? When I was in the Boy Scouts, I did get my fishing merit badge, so maybe this will come in handy. Sounds like there's a dog fight outside. A whistle. Yeah, someone's getting in trouble. Yeah, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to signal someone, or you're lost or whatever, whistles, great. And then fire starter, ferro rod. These are very nice and very helpful. And then the last thing that's in here is a signal mirror. I can signal something. I can signal somebody. These come in pretty handy in survival. All this stuff really comes in pretty handy in survival situations. Now, in this compartment is my trauma compartment, I guess. I've got a lot of bandages, dressings. I've got some Hemcom for clotting, tourniquet, tape for the gauze, more dressings. Most of these are military, old military stuff. Up here to the side is one of the, just like the quick ice packs. You just twist it and it breaks open the chemical, and then you can just throw it on your back or whatever, or your ankle if you twisted it. In the center compartment, I have more stuff for, you know, bleeding. I've got this dressing. You can make it a dressing. You could do a tourniquet. You could splint your arm. Another tourniquet, a latex, not silicone, latex tourniquet, gloves, in case you don't want to get someone's blood all over you. Scissors to cut away clothing, alcohol prep pads, that kind of stuff. And then this last compartment is just some ACE bandages. Because again, I'm broken and I'm accident prone, so if I twist my ankle, and actually, you know, ACE bandages can be used for a lot of different things. You can repair your gear, you know, bind things up, so you can use them more than just that. Here is my fire starter kit. I keep it in this plastic bag to keep it dry. I do have toilet paper in here, but I mainly use this toilet paper. If I need to, I could use it for, you know, I mainly use it for like a tinder to get a fire started, get it going, something dry and real soft to catch. In this little Lifeline first aid pouch, I do have a lighter and these little fire starter balls. Now these little fire starter balls, all it is lint from the dryer, wax from a spent candle, and it's held inside of a section of an egg carton. So you just put all that stuff inside, you mix it all up, and then just put a little piece of tape over it to hold it in, and then you can light this thing. And because of the lint's going to burn really good, so is the carton, but that wax is really going to prolong that burn. So I like to have those just for, I try not to use these if I don't have to. This is if, you know, during, you know, a storm or something, everything's kind of wet. It's really nice to have that because they are good fire starters. Moving further down in, just a bag with some extra underwear, extra socks and bandana. If, again, it's a natural disaster, there's smoke, I can put a bandana over my face, or if it's dusty for whatever reason, or really windy, really nasty out, I can put a bandana over my face so I can still work outside and not be as affected by the dust and the smoke, as affected. It'll probably still hurt my lungs, but in a pinch, it'll help. So to go along with this guy, I do have a water filter, Katadyn, I don't remember the name of Katadyn. I've had it for years. It's very good. Use it in a lot of backcountry backpacking stuff. Super good filter. It filters pretty quick. And then if for whatever reason that goes down, I have some purifying tablets for the water. You can just fill your water bottle up and then drop 1 or 2 tablets in there, and then you're good. Here is some electrolyte tablets to put in the water. You know, you're breaking a sweat, you're hiking, you're moving, you're trying to get out of town, you're trying to leave. If, you know, things really go sour and your vehicle had a dead battery or something, you had to go. You had to go, you had to do it on foot. Whatever the reason, these are pretty handy because it replenishes your electrolytes. And then on top of that, we have these SOS Food Lab rations. So this is for 9 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 1, 2, 3 days. So they're pretty small. They're not going to fill you up, but I think what was it? 410 calories per serving. So, and then there's 9 servings. So pretty good calorie intake. You know, if everything really went sour, you need to replenish your health, I guess. If you're a gamer, gamer, you eat an apple and then your health is good. I don't know if that's how it works or not. Baby wipes, because I mean those are just nice to have. And then, so as far as setting the reminder on our phone, which is mainly for this kind of briefcase looking thing, this is the main reason of why I started the bug out. Why we started our bug out. So this has all of our important documents It has jump drives with everything on our computers. It has photocopies of our credit cards, of our IDs. It's got what else has it got in it? Just all the different documents that we need, and information that we need, that, you know, if something happens, it's going to be very difficult to get it back. So it's nice to keep all those. The reason behind the IDs and the credit cards is if something happens and we really have to go quick, I might forget my wallet, or my wife might forget hers, or whatever. Well, in this case, we have at least a backup. While it might not serve as an official ID, at least as a photocopy of it, and we would have something. So this is nice to have. It is, you can lock it. It does have a lock on it, and it is, it's rip and stab proof, really, I guess. Like if I was starting to hack at this with a knife, it's not supposed to bother it. Now, I'm not going to try that. I would like to, and then I could send them a bad review if it didn't work, but I'm not going to try that on this one because this is the one that we keep everything in. I think it's also not fire retardant. It's fire retardant, it's not fireproof, but it does something in there, whatever it's made of, it does help it keep from burning everything inside. But if we have it with us during the fire, doesn't matter. The last thing in this main compartment is 8x10 tarp. You know, if we're out in the woods and we have to make a quick home, we have to bivouac, we'd at least have some protection with the tarp. There is a side pocket right here. Inside this side pocket is a little bit more of the survival stuff. Again, not necessary if you're just leaving your house for a natural disaster, but necessary if after that natural disaster, humanity took a shit. So inside it, I do a lot of hiking and riding around in our area, so I'm pretty familiar with it, but I do have maps. So if we have to get out away from a certain area, there's tons of trails and tons of roads in the hills where we live, and this will help us navigate the area better, along with a compass. With that, a notepad and a pen and paper. I mean, to jot something down real quick. These can be used, you know, you can take notes and write your last words down if I guess, unfortunately, if it comes to that. Write a love letter. Yeah, just write things down. It's good to write them down so you have it, and then for whatever reason, you know, well, if you're not able to use your phone, if you forget your phone or the battery dies, you can't take notes on your phone. So there you go. Paracord, a big roll. I don't know how many feet, lots of feet of that's on here. I'm not even gonna go into all the things that paracord can be used for, but paracord. A small folding knife. Here, direction, because we don't use it that much, other than to get it out and make sure the battery is good. This is just the directions for our radio. Because if you're not going to use it enough, you're going to forget exactly what all it's capable of doing. And I keep the instructions in my bug out bag so that we got something to refer back to if something happens to them, or we need it to, you know, look at something, want it to do a certain thing. A multi-tool, Leatherman. Yeah, I don't really need to talk a lot about that. Fixed blade knife. You know, you can have a knife. Knives are great to have, but again, if you're going to a hotel and staying, you don't need this. But if for whatever reason you do have to bug out into a survival situation, a fixed blade knife is going to be way more handy and way better in that sort of situation. Now, when I said earlier about an axe, I'm not going to carry an axe. A fixed blade knife can be used as a mini axe. Now you're not going to be sitting there whacking, but you will, to split wood or to cut through wood, you would take a piece of wood and you would hammer on that knife and you could chop through certain things. So, well, I said earlier, while I don't have a knife or an axe, I do have a good sturdy fixed blade knife. This is the Gerber. I can't remember which model, I guess, which model it is. But I always like Gerbers. They're easily available. They are good knives. So yeah. The last thing in this compartment, I don't know if you know what that is. If you can see it. This is a 4-way water key. Again, this is kind of a random thing to have. Most residential outdoor spigots have a little turn knob, but your industrial and commercial spigots on the outside, a lot of times they use these square shutoffs. So you have to have a special key to turn it on and off. Again, in a survival situation, if we're not able to get water, if we're in an urban area and we're not able to get water from somebody's house or whatever, these come in pretty handy, because now you've just given yourself a water source that a lot of people aren't going to be able to tap into. So these come in pretty handy. I think that's it in there. We'll move to this side compartment. Now, right up front, easy access. I didn't put it in this compartment because everything kind of gets jangled around. I put it here because these kind of stay. These are my extra mags for my Glock in case I have to take out a few extra zombies. You just never know. And then also right on top, toilet paper. Like I said, I've got toilet paper in this, but this is mainly for kindling, so I want to keep that separate. Here is actual toilet paper. You know what that's used for. The rest of this is more on the electronic side. I have the charger for the two-way radio for our comms. I have a phone cable to charge the phone. These are, of course, if we have power available. And then I've got a headlamp and just a flashlight. Pretty decent flashlight. Police security. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It is a little cheaper. Reviews are really good. Super bright. Yeah, flashlight. It doesn't have to be something crazy as long as it works and you can see in the dark. I mean, there's tons of different options, and that's with all this stuff. There's so many different options, but it's what works for you and whether or not you can afford it. It's your budget. So you don't have to go get the nicest, coolest tactical stuff. It could be basic stuff like Ziploc bags and just a cheap buck knife. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. So get what works for you. Yeah, so the headlamp, and then I have extra batteries for both. And then the last thing in here are more lighters. Now, something I recommend for your lighters, I didn't do it on this one because it's enclosed in a couple different bags. I'm not too concerned about that. But these just kind of jiggle around loosely in the bag. So what I've done is taken a rubber band, excuse me, rubber band, and wrapped it around the fuel button, or whatever you want to call it, so it doesn't actually you can't press it down and it releases fuel. Because what would happen is if it's in the bag, it presses up against something, it depresses that button, and then you lose fuel, and then you go to use it and you're SOL. So and I think that is pretty much it in the bag. So again, this basically covers all my basics. It is the basic necessities to get us out of a situation if there is a natural disaster, and get us, keep us a little safer if anything happens after the natural disaster. So hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully if you're building a bug out bag, or even if you have a bug out bag, hopefully something in here helped you out. It gave you an idea. If it did, leave me a comment below. I'd like to know what you think about some of this stuff. if some of it gave you a good idea or whatever. So I think that's it. You can find us on Facebook or on Instagram. Hit the like button, that'd be cool. Hit the down button, the down thumb button, the thumb down button, whatever that thing's called, the dislike button, and then comment why you didn't like it. What didn't you like about my stuff? And then we're on Patreon. You can check that out. That'd be awesome. Until next time, I usually use whiskey, but I don't have any whiskey out here, so cheers. That's good, H2O.